All right, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order at 6:04. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from December 21st, 2015.
So moved.
And you second, Rob? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes from December 21st, 2015 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? What was the motion? Okay. The minutes are approved.
Carried, huh?
Oh, it did carry. I don't know how, but it did. All right. Are there any additions and deletions to the agenda?
There's not, I got a budget for you here.
Do you have all the, did everybody get a copy of the new agenda?
Yes.
Okay. With all the
It's in the
additions?
stacks there, anyway.
All right.
Well, was there anything, let's see, to add?
No, just those two things.
Transfer station, Knox box policy.
Okay. All right, and they're all here.
And the other one was the transfer station.
Okay. So reports highway.
I'll start with the transfer station. Did you get that email? Okay.
Is that the one from Jeff?
Kara?
No. I didn't get the email with me. I told her. Have you looked at
Bob sent one to the select board.
No. Let's all get on the same page.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, we're talking about the transfer station right now.
I haven't eaten all day. Sorry.
Your sugar level's.
But anyways, you should get an email from the state of Vermont on our license renewing it.
Oh,
Yeah, and then by somebody named Jeff.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Okay. Yeah,
How's that going?
I called him up and told him to put you on there.
Yeah, he did, I got it. It's on the agenda for tonight.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's a 10-year commitment, we're gonna publish it in the paper, and, yeah.
okay, so you don't have anything else to add to that?
No, I don't. I just want to make sure he got it.
I got it.
I got it. That's it right
Printed
there.
out. I put in the request because our license expired, was going to expire last September, and I got it in August, and they've approved the whole thing. It's just we got to jump through these little hoops.
Well, they have called me a while ago about how we're situated and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the other, while we're still on transfer station, have you called recently about having those recyclable bins
Oh, yeah, I
done?
called 2 weeks in a row. They did do them today finally.
They finally did?
They only had 3-day work weeks. They were so far behind.
Okay, because I know that a lot of people have been talking about the fact that you couldn't shove anything anywhere.
And I wasn't there. I was out sanding, and Ed was there, and anyhow, loads of stuff in the boxes.
Okay,
That's all picked up.
okay, good, thank you.
No, that was 2 weeks call there, but I understand how they file. What should I start with? Don't have a lot. Letter from lady on Pine Tree.
Yeah,
Kara.
Kara.
in the interest of,
Kathleen or Kathy or
McCall.
I'm gonna find it, yeah, because I
Hey, you want a
don't,
copy?
rather than
I
dig
agree with
through
you.
my paper.
I got it. So,
Okay, do you want to address it? We technically should read it if we're going to address it, because nobody's gonna have a clue what we're
It
talking
is,
about.
it is under course.
It's under correspondence,
Well,
right?
the problem was, she was on the last of Bob's group.
Right,
Everybody can't be first. So, we restructured his route so he gets that quicker now. We took care of it right away. When somebody called up, I was trying to take care of it right away. I did call her back, no answer, but, well, hopefully we took care of the problem.
okay, so you restructured the route, so when we actually get to reading this, we can say it's been addressed?
Yes.
Okay, that'd be great.
So we're gonna get a call from somebody on the other side of the route now?
At the bottom of his heels, you're gonna get a call.
Everybody can't be first.
Oh darn.
And, but anyways, T1, remember the Freightliner hood caught on fire? It's got trouble with the lights again.
Does it
And,
burn?
It didn't burn, no.
Oh, good.
They're overheating, the breaker on, it's got a thermal breaker on it, when it overheats it, they start flashing. And so I called them up this past week, made an appointment for Wednesday, and I was very firm that we are not gonna pay for this. This was installed by them for the plow hookup when we bought the truck. It's been back to them, it caused a huge bunch of problems, they know the whole backstory, and they agree that this is ridiculous and they're gonna fix it. And I said, we're not gonna get charged for this, because if we get a bill, we're not gonna pay it, and we'll probably never do this with you again.
Do they have any idea what's causing it?
Now they think it's back feed from another light overloading the breaker. No. that would
They
be
don't
negative,
know?
yeah.
Okay.
See, look, these trucks, we just can't put a light on these new trucks because of the computer.
Yeah.
It's called RPM, remote power modulating the system.
That's Patriot?
That is Patriot, yep. Still waiting for the plate.
I don't know.
She called again today,
Bless you.
and I guess they haven't even have it printed yet.
I know she was checking
I
and,
talked to her today.
okay, so technically, why don't you just make one out of cardboard and put it on the truck? Because quite frankly, we're gonna do better than the state.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll keep trying to get that plate, and that's for the Sterling, correct?
Yes, I'm just
I
gonna.
told her to put another old plate.
That nobody's gonna know the difference. I mean, we've tried, we've sent them the money.
I just gotta get, I'll do something, I'll get it done. There is an electrical junction box out here,
At the bottom of the hill.
and the other day when I was plowing, I hit
Huh.
the soft dirt and it went boop.
We have to replace it again, huh?
I have to replace it again. We have a big rock in the way, well, the big rock moved box.
So the rock was
It's
frozen.
really hard plowing, it was really hard, everybody knows it was really hard plowing. I'm sorry about that. I talked to Wayne Beatty, took liberty, I happened to see him at the recycling that day, and he knows the box size, so I had him order one.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. No other casualties really for the storm. It did last from Monday pretty much to Thursday, and everything went pretty well.
Well, that's a good sign.
And I'm working on, I submitted our culvert inventory.
Okay.
That was like 3 weeks ago, so I haven't seen it. And I'm working on the culvert town
Infrastructure.
infrastructure.
Did you decide to go with, who the devil was it you were gonna contact?
Bannon.
Was it?
Wyndham Regional Planning Commission.
I don't think you were working with the specific. They weren't doing it anymore.
No, but Matt Mann gave me a format. He works for Wyndham Regional.
Oh,
Gave
okay.
me a format to just put our.
Just to
projects.
plug it in.
Yeah.
They're not doing it, but they give you the,
And I'll give it to him and he'll submit it.
Okay.
He can submit it for us, but they don't do it anymore.
Okay.
But,
So that's in progress.
That is in process, yeah. In progress.
Because we're going to have to start looking at Bridge 42 shortly,
Yes.
the structures piece.
That's about all I have. It's just been, we've been cleaning ditches, cleaning leaves, cleaning culverts.
It's been nice, it's been summer.
The weather has been fantastic. We even put in 2 culverts. It was good.
Were there any other questions? Anybody? No? Then I guess you can go your ball game.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, thank you.
The other thing, Kurt, I did tell Bob,
About that ditch on State
but
Forest,
that ditch, yeah. Not,
if we could keep it.
keep it covered with snow, you won't have the trouble. I wound up one year having to close it because we couldn't keep it open.
Well, that's why I put a ditch here, because we were having trouble with the water.
Yeah, but man, we had a ditch back in and we had trouble with the bank sliding, so put a whole bunch of boulders into the bank and, but you still gotta leave it snow covered or it'll freeze.
Yeah, you told me that.
Okay, I just thought I'd tell you, I did talk to him.
I told him to shelf it, every time he does plow. If we do get big snow, just shelf it to get it.
I went through that day, it looked good.
It was slow going that storm, it was lousy.
Yeah, it was a lot of
Thank you.
fun with ball bearings. Thank you.
I knew we had trouble with it, so that's why I put him on a wide spot.
before you go, Kurt, we did today get certificate of highway mileage, fill out every year. And
I got that in my mail.
you did get it, you got
I
it.
got it.
So, we'll fill that out, I just want to make sure, if you want to look it over,
And then I'll give you the rest of it.
yeah, okay, because I usually send it in, but I'm not familiar enough with it, I know you want to look at it
It's not
first.
due till February anyway.
I know, but it's here now, and we can't let it slip.
Nope.
All right.
It just came today.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then moving on, there's nothing from law enforcement. Town clerk, you all received counter sheet with the counter monies to show how much has been coming in, and the treasurer, Mr. Dano.
Between the two accounts here, you have $800 $55,571.27.
Did you return that 200,000 or
Yes.
pay down?
Yeah,
You did?
I did.
So that's minus that
Yep,
200,000,
that's gone.
okay?
But they minus the 200,000 on the principal, so we still, the way I take it, we still owe the interest when we pay the rest.
Probably.
Yeah, but we're not gonna generate more interest on
No,
the principal
no.
because of the early
Right.
payment, so.
Yeah, the principal that you pay back will
Yep.
be interest-free.
Right.
Yep.
Any other questions for the treasurer? All right,
No.
moving on. The warrants. You want to read, Connie?
Sure.
You have to read the little numbers. All right, there somewhere. There it is, right there.
Just leave them. Make a motion to approve check warrant report number 01043 in the amount of $49.60.
Is there a second?
That's general fund.
That is general fund,
Yep,
yes.
sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, so Irv second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving warrant 01043 from the town general fund in the amount of $49.60 signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Okay,
All right, make a motion to approve check warrant report number 01044 in the amount of $2,531.69 out of the general fund.
is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving warrant 01044 from the general fund in the amount of $2,531.69 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Irv, are you going to vote?
Yeah.
You said yes? Okay, so motion carries.
Make a motion to approve check warrant report number 01046.
And you missed 5.
Five should be that one right there.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at it. Make a motion to approve check warrant report number 01045 out of the highway fund in the amount of $65.15.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving warrant 01045 from the highway fund in the amount of $65.15 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to approve check warrant report number 01046 out of the town equipment fund in the amount of $965.85.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying warrant 01046 from the equipment fund in the amount of $965.85 signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
All right, that's 7.
Yeah, we're on somewhere.
Make a motion to approve check warrant report number 01047 out of the town general fund in the amount of $1,131.91.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving warrant 01047 from the town general fund in the amount of $1,131.91 signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to approve check warrant report number 101,048 out of the town general fund in the amount of $150.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving warrant 01048 from the town general fund in the amount of $150 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to approve check warrant report number 01049 out of the town equipment fund in the amount of $322.08.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving warrant 01049 from the equipment fund in the amount of $322.08 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Kyle, you gonna vote?
Sorry, aye.
Motion passes. Okay.
Be out here by 6:30.
Okay, there are no members of the public. Okay, so now I have correspondence, Cara McCullough, which is the letter we were just discussing with the highway foreman. It says, I have been a resident of Townsend Pine Acres Lane for 17 years. In the past, the road has been been maintained properly, conditions allowing me to get to work. For the past 3 years, this has not been the case. I've been required to take numerous days off of work and have been late to work many times because I have not been able to get off the mountain due to the road not being plowed or sanded. Last year, 2 consecutive days due to ice. When I have been snowed in because of lack of road maintenance, I have walked to the top of my hill to see that Hazel Hill Road has been maintained. It is unclear to me as to why, if the town trucks have been on the hill, why the side roads are not getting maintenance in a timely manner. I've called the town garage on numerous occasions and left messages with no avail. Being the first snowstorm of the season, I'm again stranded and hope this is not the presidency for the rest of the winter. Presidency, yeah, let's go for that. If there's anything else I need to do to have attention brought to this matter, please let me know. Thank you, Cara McCullough. So as the highway foreman said, the route has been restructured so that that road will be maintained a bit earlier in the queue, for lack of a better word. I don't know how else to say it.
For the life of me, I can't figure out why they do the other roads and not do that one when they're already there. Taking extra mileage and everything, getting back there.
Don't know. I don't know the routes, so I couldn't even begin to speculate.
I know where it is, and it's,
That's the first one when you go around the corner, right? There's 2 houses on that road.
I think there's more than that.
Pine Acres?
yeah, it's the last one, come down towards Hawks and down into the left.
Yeah, and it's the first one after you go around the sharp corner.
Yeah, there's one on the right and then one down just before the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, Chidley owns that one. They're
But
down on the cape.
go back for less than a half mile, I don't know.
Well, we'll see if it works and see
Yeah,
if
we'll see what happens,
she
yeah.
gets plowed out in a more timely manner. The next one would be the Hague Solar Field petition to the Public Service Board. I'm not going to even remotely refer to that or talk about it,
Nor
but
did I copy it for everyone on board.
it's just, it had to come
Why,
to
you're
the
trying
town
to keep
as,
us in the dark?
Yeah, I'm
No.
trying to keep you in the dark, yep.
it had to come to the town as part of the service notice, and it went to the planning commission as well. But it's just my husband's and my appeal to the Grenier solar field.
Rubber stamped.
Oh yeah, it's definitely rubber stamp. I don't know how many pages of rubber stamp it is.
No, but I say, the Public Service Board, that's just,
And last time that we talked about it, I believe that we had correspondence from the planning commission that you can't see, or that you won't be able to see those panels.
Right, and you
from
indicated,
Route 30.
well, it was workshop because it didn't come in before the previous meeting, or at least not close enough to it.
And you can see the ones that are there.
Yeah.
well, she said,
A number, from a couple different spots on Route 30. so.
I didn't want to come up through there with sunglasses on or what.
Well, all I know is that we filed in a timely manner, so at least the town of Townsend is having a voice. Okay, under old business, let's talk about, no, let's not look at the budget proposal right now. Let's talk about the land sales update first. Is there an update?
Another, I will get, and I will let everybody know ASAP. I just didn't, it just never happened today.
Okay.
But that
As,
will be, as we talked about, hopefully scheduled this month, or else there's gonna be, we need to get that land onto the
tax rolls.
on the tax rolls prior to April 1st, so it really needs to be this month, or the board may have to consider putting it up for sale again, because we've not gotten the money for it, there has been no closing of it yet.
Is that the one on West Hill? Off Bible
One
Road?
at the
It's
acres
acres
and one
down in
off.
West Townsend that we took the bids on.
That's
You
all
know,
West
sealed
Hill,
bids.
Yeah, he put bids on
Landlocked,
that other one or what?
landlocked.
Yeah, but he put Is that the one that he's already putting a land trust or some goddamn thing?
I don't know if that's included in it. I know he's
Right.
doing a land trust.
I gotta say, that's what I was wondering when I read that.
To know what's closing out of those pieces.
No, we haven't closed on either one.
Is anybody in contact with him?
Yeah, well, I talked to Jamie Nystrom. There was some issues. His lawyer was talking to our lawyer. That was all I knew, and our attorney called me, left a message on the machine, but call, I want to say somewhere after Thanksgiving, early December anyway, and wanted to know whether the closings should be at Town Hall or his office or where. I told him they probably should be here, that he should be coming down. Let us know, because you were available much of the month to represent the town, but just to let us know when it was scheduled, and I haven't heard back. And I put it on the agenda so I would get a report today, and I didn't get to it. I didn't do it and everything else. So, we will get that, and I'll give everybody a quick email or a call, let me know when the date is. That's a big push right now.
Well, we did receive a bill, so I believe, or we're under the
The
impression
deeds should be
that
done.
the deeds are done. So the closing can happen at any time we can get the warm bodies into the building.
Well, the deeds came through a number of months ago, and they were draft deeds, but they went to the parties and made sure that they got them to review them or have their attorneys review them for spelling and whatever. They needed to plug some things in there and review them. So as far as I know, everything should be set to go.
Okay. So the net metering and the Grace Cottage lease notices, that's what we talked about with both the long-term lease on the old dump with Sovereign Solar, and also Grace Cottage, the 25-year lease for the ball field for the septic system, and the fact that we needed to get those warned. We decided to warn them in the paper to satisfy the requirement to allow the public to object to the select board entering into long-term leases. At this point in time, I don't believe we have.
We have not. I'm still waiting for the modified lease to come through. We didn't change the terms of the lease, so it needs to be updated with new dates and checked for legal language,
Right.
because it's now 20 years old, or 25, just to make sure that it meets muster. That's been before him for a while. But we should have a new draft lease to present to Grace Cottage Hospital, get a synopsis in the paper and get it pinned up in a couple of places so that people can look at it. Once it's published, or at least the notice that the select board intends to enter a long-term lease, 25-year with Grace Cottage Hospital, on land lease for a septic system. Once that's in there, then there's a time period that people can petition to either comment or object, or
Were we gonna ask for some more money on that?
I asked the board, do you want to change the
It
terms?
never went anywhere. And we just kind of sat here and didn't make a decision.
I think we had talked about figuring out what different rate, or what a tax rate would be, or tax bill would be on a piece of property.
I can't tell you that. You'd have to ask the listers on that for a property schedule. I know part of the land, I believe, is elementary school shared. That said, those are the kinds of things that when the draft lease comes back, you guys get to look at a copy and make final determinations. Grace Cottage does too, of course, to make sure it meets their legal expectations. But that's why I'm waiting for a draft to come back that's legally vetted and has new.
Yeah, well, see, that all went through a special town meeting when it was done.
Right, but we don't have to do a special town meeting again
No, I realize that, no.
in order to avoid that.
But, for the initial thing, it had to.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I think you signed off on the original one, or, yeah.
So yeah, that hopefully will be coming back from the attorney, and then we can move forward with getting these two notices up, and
Right.
getting them taken care of, and starting that window on the public notification. Oh, Lordy Almighty.
You can hold off on budget if you want, because that's.
Oh, the budget has already been marked for going back. We're gonna go on down to
Okay.
new business and town meeting warning, which you should have.
It's a draft. I gave everybody a draft copy. I punched it out at 4:15 this afternoon, just to make sure the numbers were correct. But you don't actually have budget numbers in there.
Right.
At this point.
So the one thing you'll notice, which you have both in huge print and in the warning, the article that we talked about for eliminating the Office of the Auditors, That language is in there. You need to take a look at the warning, make sure there's nothing else in here that,
Well, if there were to be special articles that you wanted to put in, if there's anything you can think of, or if you can think of anything I've left out that you've talked about.
Yeah,
And that happens.
I have to ask why Article 4 isn't there. I thought we had a very long discussion about that at the last budget meeting. I thought the decision on Article 4 was to just list it in
Well,
the
that
salaries.
just actually means that I did list it in the salaries, I just didn't cross out Article 4. So I
Okay.
crossed out Article 4 and changed the numbers. It is listed under salaries.
Because
Listers by stipend,
6, you should go through.
and auditors by stipend. You budgeted 18 for the auditors, or 36 for this, excuse me, 36 for the auditors. I did the number wrong.
680,
6, 12, 18.
yeah, which is right.
3.
Oh. Yeah, that's absolutely right. The stipend. on-
Yeah, it would be 6 for the listers, 6,000 for each of the listers?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. And for the auditors, 600, I can't remember, was it over 3,000?
I'll look at the top, I have it right here.
well, we talked about the auditors and also, well,
There is a budget number for them there.
I don't remember we put five listers. Auditors is here, but I don't have everything.
Let's see.
I think we left it at 3. So 3 divided by 3?
Let's see. Actually, no, I got wages and auditors at 36.
So that included,
Would be 1,200 each.
Because we moved the rest of it down.
Yeah, it got changed to 12, it got changed to 36 for some reason on the last go around.
yeah.
All right, so these are the kinds of things that we look for in the draft one. And you want our reports from look all together,
Yes,
which I did obviously eliminate, and change the numbers accordingly. Now, Article 3, you and I are gonna have to talk about, we'll have to figure that out. The one VSA, 2651 is correct. The rest of it needs to be reworded. That was the question 3 years ago, and I just didn't change that because it's not gonna be quite the same. Anyway, I need to look at one VSA. But anyway, that's where that's gonna go. Article 3, Article 4. Article 4 will be salaries and wages, and then Article 5, which is now 6.
so in auditors, we're going to have a 3-year term coming up. That would be whose term?
That will be, I think Eric Scott was on for 1 year because
Oh, he's finishing up?
Tricia still has another year to go, and Patrick has 2 years to go.
Well, that just makes sense.
So
That doesn't make sense.
you got 1 year, well,
Because that would be, that we don't have anybody else.
Yeah, you got a 2-year term, you got 1 year remaining on a 3-year term, and then you got a new 3-year term.
well, you got a 3-year term. I don't want to say it on camera, the 1 year remaining has yet to come open.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be 1, 2, and 3.
No, but there's no 2, because you've got
Right, there is.
1, 2. Your 2-year term is still filled.
Yeah, the 1
Yeah,
year.
that's in there, that's not changing. And
Well,
you got to elect one person for 1 year to
Yeah.
finish out the 3-year term.
Yeah.
Then you would have a new, whoever the new person was would be 3 years.
Right.
So that'd make 1 year, 2 years, and 3-year terms. So they'd be staggered.
So anyway, we need to take a look. Article 8 is, again, did we actually make this decision? An article, what is currently Article 8?
Right, let's take a look at what's currently Article 8. I don't remember these. See if town will take advantage of the provisions of authorized society. No, that's just a placeholder.
Okay.
But that was in the discussions for last year, and the committee didn't show up.
Yeah, sure you didn't. Yeah, exactly. So I
Don't know what I can tell you
think,
about it.
I think at this point, what the current Article 8 is a little bit premature as much as
Well,
I'd
I
like to
don't
do with
disagree.
it.
I don't disagree at all.
So anyway, take a look at the rest of it, see if the rest of it should just be fill in the blanks with numbers. But if there's anything else that we've forgotten or that you can think of, we need to get this hammered out at the next meeting. So
Well, and
please-
the other thing is to, again, take a look at those posts that are open for elections, start thinking about people that might be willing to serve, that you might want to nominate from the stage.
Okay. So, the next piece that's going to come up is the transfer station. And as we alluded to when the highway foreman was here, the state is demanding that we post notices of the, for the recertification of the Townshend transfer station for a period of 10 years. So if we do put these notices up and we do get, nobody objects and we send it in, we're committing ourselves to continuing the transfer station for another 10 years.
No, you're just getting certification. It's not committing ourselves to keep it going that long.
I'm not sure.
I think you can close it.
I don't know.
that-
Well, the term used to be a lot less than that, because when I did it before, I think it was in 2012 that I did it, applied for it, you had to fill out all the paperwork and GPS it and all the rest of it, tell them how many tons and whatever. It just came up that it's expiring or expired in 2015. I put the application in beginning, whenever it was, but in over the summer because it was a September deadline. The application's in, the application's been approved, but there are a number of hoops that we have to jump through, and one of the reasons it's before the board is because it is a long term. It is a decade commitment. It'll take us to 2025, basically. So the board does need to be aware of it, and there will be some costs involved in publishing and certifying mail to whoever, even though it is just a transfer station. Basically, the application's been approved as long as we meet the notice requirements on this. But it is, again, a long-term, it is a long-term certification.
I would check on that through the solid waste. That slip in there where we come under.
Do they know where they're gonna be in 10 years?
I know, where I can find all that stuff.
Yeah.
Might not be in here, but I can find it.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Because the district's got all that stuff.
Yeah, I'd really like to know if in fact we would be required, if we go through with this.
Well,
Yeah, no, that's what I want to say. that-
there's actually a separate part in there, at least there is in the application. I have to, when you put in the application, Joe had to sign a piece of paper saying that we are prepared to and can afford to
Close it, yeah.
the unit, should we
Right.
so choose, or should they demand it. So I think it is elective that we can close, but again, because it is a long-term commitment, certainly a long-term certification.
So we'll check on that and see what happens, but we need
Yeah.
to get these warnings up again, just like with the others, if in fact we have to get this accomplished. So, if you could check on that and let us know, or,
I will check on it here this next few days here, as soon as I get a chance to
Okay.
get a hold of them. The
notice-
only thing I didn't see in here, in this warning, any money for veterans flags.
well, that article hasn't been in for years.
Oh, but it has every year.
Actually, it's usually in the general fund, it's in the general fund budget, it should be in the budget.
Right.
Oh, it's in the, well, it wouldn't be in here then, but it always used to be an article in here that
Yeah.
raised $150 or something for the,
Yeah, it's
Mine is-
200, it's 200 and change. for when
no, I
it's-
said it used to be 150, I don't know what.
If you have well, 300, actually, we need to add, no, this is a budget status. I'm looking at the budget status report. It's under other expenses, it's on the second to last page of the general fund budget, Memorial Day expenses.
Yeah,
And that's where the flag budget is.
okay.
And, suppose I need to look at the comparative, make sure we put in 200 bucks, I'm pretty sure we did. Page 78.
No, I said just going to two, that was one that I know it used to be in there.
Page 78, $300. You get 300 in the budget for next year. Memorial Day expense, right under Wyndham County tax.
All right.
Okay.
But I say just glancing through the warning, I know it used to be in the warning on a separate article.
Well, there probably are some things that should be in the warning that have gotten folded into the general fund. But
I see, yeah, the general fund, that's what that cover, but they're lumping too much stuff together, so it comes under the select board or something else, it's not giving the true cost of different departments.
oh, we were just talking about that. I guess you were in on that conversation that the tax bill expenses is under select board, and I'm not quite sure why. I mean, the
Well,
board sets the
Well,
rate.
they're in charge of sending out the tax bills.
I'll tell you
You
why.
do a good job, don't you?
Yeah.
The former select boards didn't like all the different accounts, so they lumped them.
All right.
The same way they didn't with their equipment fund.
Yep.
They didn't like having to keep track of the time and all that stuff, so they raised the amount of money to cover it.
Yeah.
So it didn't show earnings and completely and expenses against it.
Okay.
But it's only as good as the data that you get, and the data you're gonna get, especially on the winter equipment or the equipment expense funds, you know, is driven by the highway foreman, the stuff that gets turned in on that.
Yeah.
We don't have that information.
Okay, so moving on to the Knox boxes, which have been ordered for, I believe the hospital has one, the high school, and the elementary school.
That's all let's do.
Did they get two?
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, we need to decide what the policy is going to be with the keys.
Get it.
Okay,
I'll look through it.
you will, huh?
Yep.
Okay. There's a meeting on Thursday, you're gonna look into it before then?
I don't know, there's a meeting on Thursday.
There's a meeting on Thursday.
You didn't RSVP?
I don't remember getting it here.
I didn't either, but there is a meeting on Thursday.
Maybe I'm not invited.
Yeah, well, anyway, just to put it into perspective, I think we need to figure out exactly who's going to hold the keys for towns. Right now, they're all in the vault.
We have boxes, locked boxes for the fire department or whoever for emergency management. But anyway, they're metal boxes with a key lock on the outside in which you put a master key or some key to a building. So there's going to be two on the high school. There's going to be one in the elementary school. Grace Cottage Hospital wanted one. We have an extra one here either for this building or somewhere else. But anyway, the town is in control of buying, managing, keeping track of the boxes. We get one master key to all those boxes, and we're in charge, you're in charge, of deciding who gets that key or those keys for emergency management purposes, so you can get into a building at 2 o'clock in the morning, that kind of thing. So that policy is something that the select board needs to decide upon, because you don't want a lot of keys out there. We want to make sure they're where they belong.
Okay. I'll have something for before the next meeting.
As to who.
She'd like to take it on Thursday, take something, you can talk to her, you'll talk to her.
I'll talk to her, I'll talk to him then, but
Yeah.
anyway, we do need to officially do that and make note of it, because we're gonna need some kind of a sign out responsibility sheet as well for the people that do take them. Okay? So now moving back up to the budget, which is the pile of papers you all got in the folder.
Well, and I've got one here, I seem to be missing one, so somebody may have got two new folders, but I don't know.
No,
And I got one, because I don't think you got one.
Hers is right here.
No,
That's the old
this is
one.
mine.
Oh, okay.
And that's the old one. Fine, the new one here. Actually, I got a shuffle because I was looking through. Okay, so on the top you got a trial balance, which isn't gonna mean much to you, but it's the last page of trial balances, which shows you surplus deficits for last year, presumably. And it's just 3 pages, general fund, highway fund, and equipment fund on trial balance. Following that trial balance, I believe you have comparative budgets for general highway and equipment, which is the way we left the last workshop. I believe the numbers are in there now correctly.
So before we go into the actual numbers in the budget, I think we need to have a discussion about the fact that we were missing in the warrants this week. We were missing the payroll. That's where number 1 and number 2 were in the sequence in the warrants. And the reason we don't have warrants is because the person that we have hired as a bookkeeper has not been in to do those warrants. I think before we go too far in with numbers, we need to decide what we want to do about the bookkeeper piece, because these numbers are generated by Craig. We have no idea whether they're right, they're wrong, things have been changed. We need to know where we're going. We're supposed to be starting with a new payroll type situation with town, with an in-house service versus a bank, a professional service. And if we don't have somebody that's going to be able to do that, we need to decide where we're going to go, and we need to do it darn fast.
Right.
Because
Well-
there's going to be payroll in another week and a half.
We need, obviously, when you decide on the expense budget, and obviously that depends on what we have for surplus or deficit from last year, but when you decide on what you're going to expend, we apply the surplus or deficit from last year to see what we need to raise in taxes to meet the expenses. Terry did a printout back in November for the auditors. The auditors have signed off on last year, saying it looks okay to them as of June 30th. And that's okay with me, but I don't know what those numbers were, the fund balance numbers were. I have current numbers here that gives us an indication. I don't like them. I mean, I'll just be frank with you. I don't recognize the numbers. And my head is just absolutely full of numbers. I have no confidence in where I am. That having been said, that's something that we will obviously come up with before the warning is finished, and need to come up with.
Other than them signing off, they give you any numbers or anything?
No.
In fact, I think you had in your pile, what we received from the auditors was just a statement that they have checked.
Yeah, that don't cut it.
Well, I think that's all we got from them, as I recall.
Yeah, I have not received, and Patrick frankly hasn't been around.
We don't know if we still don't know if we're going to have a town report. We have no auditors. We had Elaine's been in doing the books,
Well, she's been filing, she's been organizing.
but she hasn't been working on the town report.
No, because I think Patrick has taken that on, and Tricia's not shown up, is nowhere to be found. So,
When was the last time that Patrick worked on it?
it would have been before the last meeting, before the 21st. He was maybe gonna come to that meeting and he didn't, I can't recall. But somewhere around Christmas, he went away for Christmas or away.
So much for him guaranteeing to us that he would have the book done and.
Well, I don't know, because I don't know where he is, and I haven't talked to him, and he could be working on it even as we speak. I mean, I don't know, because I don't have an update. The question that Kathy was alluding to is with regard to other matters which pertain to the bookkeeper's office, because right now I'm doing everything in the bookkeeper's office again, and I didn't get the payroll printed on a warrant, because it's complicated, and it's one thing that Terry was doing when she did communication, but she hasn't been here really since Getaway. I got that since he's been on vacation. Hasn't been in most of the month of December. And that's not working for me.
Well, that's not working for us either.
No, and frankly, I mean, part of the reason that I was really glad to have her come in is because things like this, I mean, I've done these with the select board for 3 or 4 years, but at the same time, I don't have the expertise and the confidence to know that these are right. And now that we're 3 or 4 years into it, I'm just scared to death. I've been helping you guys set tax rates and set budgets, and I don't really know that we are exactly where we are. So, that being said, that's something you guys will have to talk about and figure out. But we are out of payroll service with People's United Bank, and we are apparently doing it in-house, but there's some preliminary work that needs to be done. And I'm not qualified, well, I'm not doing it.
So that really does leave us with about 5 or 6 days to make a determination as to what's going to happen.
Well, Friday payroll should be turned in if we're going to stay on the same cycle. So, yeah, I mean, it's just going to
Which
say
means,
Thursday.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think it's time to I don't know what it's time to do.
Gonna have to have a tie. Either yes or no, one or the other.
Well, I don't disagree, but every time you have a discussion, you're essentially assured that everything is fine and that it will be able to be done.
Then a month later, we're shut down.
Well, like I said, whether it's with the bookkeeper, excuse me, or the auditors, we can't seem to get anywhere.
No, I can't, that's what they're damn sure.
I mean, we've got absolutely nobody but the select board and Craig working with the numbers in this town. And if you're not confident in the numbers to begin with, I mean, what does that leave you? So, with that in mind, and not having a clue whether we've got surpluses, deficits, how much they are, or where they're to be applied, we have gone through and we've used our best.
Well, the numbers have changed since the end of the year, since what we had on June 30th to set taxes by. These numbers have changed, and part of that change was when Nimrick came in and Terry worked in September with Laurie and got things squared up, and I never saw a final on that. I mean, I've printed one out to get a trial balance. But again, I don't recognize the numbers on that, and and what I need to know, if those are the numbers that the auditors have signed off on, then we go with them, essentially.
Right.
But I don't know, because it's been well over a month since the auditors have looked at them, and again, I don't know that they know what they actually signed off on.
So, you know, going down through the different groups, the different sections of the budget, the 100 fund, for example, we've made determinations as to what we want to do. That's 300 ding-a-ling. And we've plugged preliminary numbers in there, but we still don't have any clue as to how that's going to impact the tax rate, because we don't know what we've got for surplus or deficit. I mean, one of the, you know, we talked about the fact that the budget is pretty much level funded. And when you look at the general fund, you can see that the difference in there is pretty much just the, on page 8 of 8, is pretty much just the addition of the law enforcement to the budget as opposed to a separate article. You know, that really hasn't changed much. And same with the highway. That looks substantially bigger, but what in fact happened there was we've rolled in multiple areas where we're using reserves and actually showing those as an expenditure or potential expenditure for the year, but the money's already been raised. So overall, the budget's pretty well level funded, but we still need to know where we ended last year.
Yeah, I gotta say if we get a deficit or a surplus.
So what's your pleasure? What would you like for us to do? Us being Craig and I.
We just haven't had any contact with her, the bookkeeper.
We haven't had any. She's been busy. She's been covering down at the store while Kit's been gone. So I know she's been busy with the other two towns as well. But
It's everybody's budget season right now.
right. But you know, the fact that we didn't have the warrant tonight for the payroll, which she had been doing, is a little bit concerning, since she is now also responsible for doing the in-house payroll. Don't all speak at once.
Yeah. Well, I don't really know what to say.
I mean, I'll be happy to give her a call and see if we can find out what's going on as far as when she might be coming in, but I
Well, I
just,
gotta say, that's a big thing, as far as I'm concerned.
but I have real nightmares with about 5-6 days from now, when we've got all these pay slips in here that are supposed to be.
Oh, yeah,
ready.
right, no, if you're not gonna, then just say so.
Well, see, the deadline for staying on with People's United was a while back, and you guys decided at your last 21st meeting that we were gonna let that slide and let that cancel. And the confidence at that point, I mean, was expressed that it would be handled in-house. But that's just, I mean, from my point of view, and I work for you, and I'll do whatever you tell me to do or ask me to do, but from my point of view, there's more to it than just a payroll every couple of weeks
Absolutely.
for bookkeeping. I mean, you need somebody who knows municipal accounting very well to help you with tax rate, help you with budget, help the auditors with closing out the year.
I'm not disagreeing with that, that's for sure.
With the lack of auditors that we've had for the last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, that's just made the situation all that much worse because we don't have anybody even remotely watching over the numbers.
No, because a lot of things are going on. We got closeout forms to do for big chunks of money that have come in this year. So anyway, yeah, I mean, and I'm not looking forward to that.
So, again, I don't know what you'd like me to do.
I guess just reach out to her to reconfirm her commitment to being able to do the bookkeeper position.
Well, considering our
In
next
addition to payroll.
meeting
And
is,
it is the 18th.
okay, and there's going
No,
to be,
even if we had to call a special goddamn meeting.
well, yeah, but we need to have some kind of a,
But we gotta know.
we also have to have a plan in place if she's decided that's more she can take on.
Yeah,
Then
right.
at that point, then we just call a special meeting if that's the case. I mean, I feel like a phone call or a face-to-face conversation with her, one of us would be fine to reaffirm her commitment.
Well, I'll definitely get in touch with her, that's not an issue if you want me to, but I just want to know where you want me to go with this.
But if there isn't nothing guaranteed, then we're gonna have to do something.
When she was,
drastic quick.
before she took her hiatus, for lack of a better term, was she's working on the books as well?
She did reconciliation, which was good, and she worked with the representative from Nemrick to get last year closed out, which actually took a little while, and to straighten a few things out for the auditors. But I mean, I was working 35 hours a week in the bookkeeper's office because I was not as efficient as the person I replaced and did not know all I was doing. And I actually quit the job. And you guys, the board, hired somebody else who didn't work out and then hired somebody else who was in there for over a year.
Didn't work out.
But yeah, but in any case, and I tried to oversee, to keep the hand in it and help out wherever I could and take over. When Terry was hired, I was hoping we were going to have a bookkeeper. Not
That's
just
what
somebody part-time.
my intention was.
Couple hours
Yeah.
a week, but the couple hours a week have faltered because of other obligations. And I know that Christmas is busy and there were retails to do. Other towns have budget matters and treasury functions to do. And things like the warrants I've been doing for the last 20 weeks. And it wasn't something, I mean, I'm not here to complain on camera.
Not on the camera. With the
Well,
camera off.
It's not a complaint, it's
just
something,
gonna-
it's something I can do, but it does take an inordinate amount of time to do, I mean, it is 10, 15 hours.
And there are other things that Craig should be doing, things like dealing with the attorney, these notices on all these postings, you know, on and on
It's
and
highway.
on.
As a bookkeeper, we gotta know one way or the other, get off the pot.
So I will be happy to call and see where we go. Don't know if it'll
Yeah,
be tomorrow.
okay.
But if it's not something that she's going to have the time to do, considering we're on such a short leash, do you want me to go ahead then and call a special meeting, let you all know?
Yes.
Right.
So that we can discuss what our alternatives may be for getting somebody in to do the payroll at least. So I will do that. I will call tomorrow and see where we go.
Short term, we can meet payroll, and we might be able to get back in under people. I don't even want to go in other directions on that right now.
Well, I agree. I just need to know what they want me to do over the course of the next 2 weeks, if in fact that's a reality.
But I say, even if we have to have a special meeting, we find out something one way or the other that is gonna affect us, and we'll just have to have a special meeting, that's all I can say.
All right. Well, I will do that tomorrow.
That's my feeling anyway.
I'm assuming this is the sentiment of everybody?
Yep.
All right, well, I'll be in touch either tomorrow or Wednesday with her and then let you know if it's something we
Okay.
need to discuss.
Good enough.
All right, so do you want to go through those numbers, or what would you, I don't know where you are here. I mean, we can't actually finalize the budget because we don't have the revenue numbers. Is there anything within the numbers that we need to discuss further?
I don't think so.
Don't think so? No other questions, or?
No, well, just like with, last year, that budgeted ended in June, we don't know how much of a surplus or anything there is. and-
If I recall the numbers, I have to say is if there is one, it's not very good.
Yeah, no, that's what I say.
Oh, no, last year, we probably ran a little deficit, but we ended up setting tax rates on the fact that it pretty much leveled out.
But the thing is, if you got a deficit, you gotta make it up in this budget.
Right.
You can't keep going
As
on.
as Kathy said, and as you guys have worked through your budget meetings and workshops and whatnot, you are pretty much level funded. Page 7 of, actually page 8, general fund on the comparative, shows this year's budget at $367,000 for 2016. 2017 budget is $392, but included in that is $20,000 for law enforcement because that's not a special article. So that ends up being essentially the same as it was this year. The highway budget, you actually came down a little bit on, figure out where we are, right? Actually, no, the highway budget's up.
The highway budget's up because we rolled
Right.
all that paving money
Right.
and whatnot,
Right, into
like
reserve.
60,000 into
Right.
reserve.
Right.
So it is up. But
Like
the
it
tax-
takes away, but it
But
shows
the
up.
thing is,
expenditure.
if you got a deficit, you just, if it's $10,000, then you gotta know it. You can't
Oh,
just,
no, yeah, no, well, if you're.
can't just write off, well, I see the books are all right.
Well, no, well, yeah, we need some hard numbers because the numbers actually have to be. If you're gonna budget $300,000, you need to know how much you're gonna raise in taxes, whether it's gonna be 275 in order to meet that 3, or whether it's gonna be 3 1/4 to meet that 3.
That's right.
And it depends on where the numbers break. And right now, I can't hammer it out to.
No, that's what I say, so we gotta have some numbers
Within a
somewhere,
couple
from
of
somebody.
All right, so is there any other business that needs to be discussed? Is there any need for an executive session?
Discuss this.
I think you ought to have, I can't call.
What are we discussing?
Yeah, letter, I thought, do I have?
We can.
I don't want it. Whatever.
You know what letter he was referring to? It was all in your boxes? This one, or?
He didn't, he
Oh,
would
he
have
hasn't
a
seen
copy.
it, that's right.
There'll be a copy in his box, but he didn't see the email if that's,
Yeah.
but there won't be any resolution coming out.
No, there won't be any resolution coming out. So, I would entertain a motion then to enter executive session for that's the wrong one. Okay, let's do it this way. I would entertain a motion to find that discussion of previous employees' grievance would put the select board at a severe disadvantage if it were to be held in public.
So moved.
Second.
Okay? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Right.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. So then I will entertain a motion to move into executive session to discuss under 1 VSA 313 1AD grievances of a prior employee.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Right.
Opposed? Abstentions? The board will enter executive session at 7:05. And there will not be a resolution. So if you want to go ahead and pack up and go, you're welcome to go. Because all I'll come out and do is adjourn.